back at you with another video from 80s Nut. Today I'm going to show you how to get rid of this horrible oxidation buildup. It's this headlight's really deteriorated. Very difficult to get any of the light to emit through this lens. Show you the other lens, and this one's even worse. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tape around the edges. So tape around all the edges there, and I'll go ahead and tape around the edges first, and that way we don't, the tape is there to protect obviously the paint while we're wet sanding and buffing. So I'll go ahead and do the taping of the edges and I will be back. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and finished all the taping around the edges there. You don't need much, because obviously we're not painting and we're not worried about overspray. We're going to be sanding, and you're going to be hand sanding, and you don't really have to, you got control over sanding and you don't have to worry about overspray. You just control where you're sanding, and that's just in case while I'm sanding and buffing, just in case I hit the paint, and that's just a precautionary measure. Okay, I will be back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start wet sanding. Considering there's so much buildup there on the plastic, I'm going to go ahead and start with 600 grit wet dry sandpaper. Then I'm going to work to 800, and then we'll work for the polishing. I will bring those out, and there will be the 2000, then the 2500, and then final polishing from there. So right now I'm going to go ahead and start with the 600. You want to make sure that you use plenty of water. Water is your friend. And I also like to spray the sandpaper. Go around in circles. You're going to want to keep sanding until when you dry it, it's completely smoky, and all you see is just a haze. Right now you obviously see the sanding that you see there, and all the beige color. That's the buildup being sanded away. Don't worry, it'll all polish out and it'll look just fine. I like to start off in an area and keep going. Spray plenty of water and get all that buildup out of there. Again, I'll spray my sandpaper and I'll start at it again. Okay. You see how I don't have to be that careful because I got the tape there. Now if I didn't have that tape there, I'd have to be very careful doing it. So I can get a little sloppy here. Okay, I'm going to spray to get all of that buildup out of there. And I'm also cleaning my sandpaper by wetting it. And we're going to go ahead and start in the middle area. Work your way down from there. All the circle pattern. This section here actually is a part of the headlight, but it's an assembly. What it does is it's the headlight sprayer that pops out when you press the button, and it sprays the headlight. The OEM headlights for this are way too expensive, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm not about to replace them. The other thing is, the aftermarket ones are crap. If you think this is bad, they'll start yellowing out within the first couple of months of owning them. The plastic is so cheap. In the end, this has projection headlights, HID projection headlights right there, and you can't put the HIDs in the aftermarket. They burn too hot, and what'll end up happening is it'll melt the housing. So I'm going to grab my microcloth towel. See how there's still plenty of buildup there. In fact, I see condensation a little bit, actually a little bit on the inside, it looks like. We'll see. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and sand out all of this here so it looks the same. You can hear the sound difference too when you're sanding that heavy oxidation there. It's good to dry it out and see where we're at. I'm going to go more on this. If your tape starts deteriorating, you might have to dry it and then retape the areas that are coming apart. Just use some 3M masking tape. I have the blue label, but don't want to waste it for what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to get a fresh piece of sandpaper. Try that and go at it again. So this is good. What you're starting to see now is the white. So we've penetrated through the majority of the buildup there. That is exactly what you're looking for. See how the tape is coming apart there? Not a big deal. Okay. So what do we see? We see this is completely flat here, and there not as much. We're gonna go ahead and grab the 800 grit sandpaper and start with that. Let me grab that. Alright. And basically what we're doing is we're taking out all the sanding marks from the 600, which is obviously a coarser. The greater the number, the finer the sandpaper. And you really want to use a wet dry sandpaper. Alright, let's get this off of there. See, that looks pretty darn good. You guys gotta remember, this is an old headlight. Very old headlight. If you look good, I see hazing and this light crackling there. We're not gonna make this headlight brand new. It's just not gonna happen. But we are gonna do a pretty darn good job on polishing it out. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and start with the 2000 grit wet dry sandpaper. Wet it, wet sandpaper, and same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and start from the top. So this really is finishing sandpaper. Once you start going into the 2000s and up, what it's gonna do is it's gonna get rid of any of those sanding marks, and you want it to kind of flow like that. I really feel it sliding is what it's doing. See, I'm very careful right there because most of my tape is pretty much gone there. But I'm not about to tape it up. I can live with that. Just be a little careful there not to hit the paint. Honestly, if you hit the paint with 2000 grit sandpaper, you can buff that right out. 2000 is very, very, very fine. Let's go ahead and... I'm running out of water here. It's exactly what we're looking for there. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit it now with 2500 sandpaper. This is my finishing sandpaper. The rest after that is going to be hand polishing after the 2500. I don't see a need for going to a finer grit than that. You know, unless you're doing a show paint job on a classic car or something. You absolutely have no worries about hitting the paint with 2500 because you can just wax anything right off of there with 2500, especially if you hit it just very lightly or something. It's not a big deal. All right. Dry it off. And now we're going to go ahead and start with our polishers. My polishing compounds. I'm going to shut it off, go grab that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So now I'm going to go ahead and start with my rubbing compound. This is just a plastic rubbing compound made in the good old USA. Again, I'm going to start from the top and work my way there. and you should start seeing a huge difference rather quickly. I gotta put pause because I got neighbors walking out. Let me put pause real quick. Okay, so as I said, we're working our way from the top, and you can already see a huge difference. And you gotta really press on it pretty good too. And you gotta remember, this is just the rubbing compound. We haven't worked the polishing yet. But you see those arms? See those arms? And that was for my daughter. Dad, why'd you put that in there? Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. It's coming apart. Really keep going until you don't see any of the hazing in there. Add some more. You could do this with a polisher. Not me. A polisher's my arm. Okay, have another towel to hit that up with. See what that looks like. Alright, let's take a look at that. What do you guys think? It's a huge difference. Gonna do a little bit more work on the bottom there before we hit it up with the final polisher. Okay, I think I'm good with it there, and it's starting to get dark. You know, you can keep going until it fits your needs, all right, where you think is fine enough for you, where it's nice and polished and shiny, and I think I'm fine and I'm content with the way it looks right now. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the polish. Alright, shake that bad boy up. Put a little bit on the towel. I'll give it maybe two more hits before I call it good. Let's do it one more time. Oh, sorry guys, if you want to know what I'm using for the polish, it's Mother's. That's the power plastic for headlights. I don't know, guys. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. You don't want to keep the masking tape on there for too long, because this really isn't what you don't want to do is end up with a bunch of adhesive residue on your paint and sit there with WD-40 try to take that off. So as soon as you're finished and you polish and get it out of there, my point is, what you don't want to do is put it on there, then go grab something to eat, and then just get the job done and get the tape off of there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take the tape off, and I'll be back. Okay, took the tape off. That is what it looks like now. Let's go ahead, take a look at this side. So that's the before, and there's your after. Nice, clear. I'll be able to see perfectly with those headlights. Look how foggy that is. Pretty bad. So looks like I got some work to do to finish that up before the night is up. It's starting to dim on me, and I'm fighting a ton of mosquitoes. Until next time, 80s Nut out.